Hello, welcome to day 6 of the Energy and Abundance Challenge. Now today I'm going to share something that's a little bit left field, okay? And it's because I have actually seen this occurring in a couple of my clients recently. I seen one attached to a family member recently. And when I'm saying attachments, it's the spiritual attachments that affect us emotionally, mentally, and physically, okay? They might drain on our energy. They might have us thinking unhealthy thoughts. They actually may have us do things that might be unjust or are, trying to trigger somebody else because they're trying to get into their energetic field. Now, when I talk about this is spiritual attachments, okay? And we are sovereign beings, okay? We are sovereign and we have free will. And knowing this, that we are in control, right? So sometimes these things, I've had them attached to me too, right? But as soon as I had that awareness that they were affecting my mental health, like I was thinking really negative, and I'm not normally like that. And then I realized I was like, oh, I need to do a clearing. And so I just created a clearing, one to release all these emotions and thoughts and things instead of judging myself. But then I also was like, okay, is this somebody else's energy maybe I've taken on? Or have I had an attachment, right? And as soon as I create I basically state that I do not give anything permission to enter my field or to attach to me, right? Now, realizing that they can only attach to us if we are in a lower or denser frequency, or we haven't been doing the energetic clearing consistently, right? We can walk into places and not all these attachments are bad, okay? But they may just draw on our energy, right? So everything is energy. And it can just leave us feeling a little bit flat and drained, okay? So this can also happen. I had a massage, and the masseuse said to me, hey, I've got this client that comes in all the time, and every time she comes in, I feel really drained. Right? Now, this person might be going in because they're like, yeah, they've created an intention to gain energy and, to rebalance, but you may not be aware, but they're energetically hooking into this person and drawing on their energy. So these things really do happen. So when we set some sort of intention to say that we do not give it permission to attach into our field, we do not give them permission, we can put energetic bubbles around ourselves. Now, if we had somebody like that energy vampire where they're hooking in and trying to take energy, and that's a physical person's energy and auric field doing that, right? So we can create some sort of barrier. Now, even my children, when they were little, they were really, really sensitive. And if I was having a really bad day, guaranteed they were going to have a bad day. And when I was learning a lot about the spiritual space, I was guided by a mentor, and actually a very famous mentor too, to actually put sort of gridding around myself and, using, even when I was breastfeeding, I would put, energetic brick walls between me and him so he wouldn't take on my energy, right? So that he wasn't going to be reactive to my own tiredness, and because you're up all night with children, and I was also my ex was a FIFO, so I was on my own a lot, and it stressed me out a lot, and I'd have days where I was just off. And by putting him in energetic bubbles or creating barriers between us, it just meant that he wasn't also feeling it and compounding on my feelings and making me feel worse as well. So knowing you're sovereign, I did a post the other day in relation to, as the vibration of Earth raises, the multidimensional beings are becoming more accessed, right? We're actually being able to communicate with them more easily. And they're also, there's this spiritual warfare that actually does happen. And I have had a spiritual attack before, right? And I won't go into, but just knowing, right, when it was happening to me, and that the physical response that was happening in my body, I knew that I was sovereign. And instead of tripping into fear, I did a self-regulation of my nervous system. I was breathing into my nervous system to regulate myself, because my energy needs to be in a higher frequency, right? If I'm in fear, it can hook into me easier because my energy field is dense when I'm in fear. When I'm not in fear, my energy field is expanded. So these energetic beings cannot physically get onto my body. So opening my energy field up, and then I just called in my archangels, and they literally shot it out of the room, right? And then I put gridding and bubbles around the house, right? So really realizing, if you're feeling a bit off, ask yourself, have I taken on somebody else's energy? Is somebody else's energy, their auric field, hooking into my auric field and draining me? Or possibly, do I have some sort of a spiritual attachment? And you can clear these things easy and effortlessly using your breath, using intention, using commands, remembering you don't have to be highly experienced like myself to know how to do these things, right? Your soul knows what to do. It's our head that questions that we don't know what we're doing, but you actually have that power within you. So remembering to use that nervous system regulation thing that we said the other day, remembering that you are sovereign, remembering to create an intention to clear and delete and to remove anything of a lower vibration that is in your field or attached to you, and returning any energy that is not yours, right? Because sometimes we take on other people's energy. We know what it's like when somebody walks into the room and they're having a bad day. We can easily get triggered into that energy. So we can put ourselves in an energetic bubble, to protect ourselves from their energy, so that we're not feeling it, or if they're projecting or yelling at you, their energy is not being projected onto you, right? And the more you regulate your nervous system and the more you keep your heart open, the higher your frequency is, and the more you can actually neutralize that energy, right? Alchemize it or transmute it, because you're in a higher frequency. So don't ever raise your vibration to match somebody in a lower frequency. Always raise your vibration up, and it alchemizes that is of a lower vibration. All right, guys, well, that was quite a big share, and I shared quite a few different pieces today. So create an intention to sit down and like I said, just breathe into your body and reset your nervous system, ground into presence. If you notice that you're having these negative thoughts, regulate your nervous system and then set an intention. I clear and delete anything of a lower vibration, anything below the energy of love, right? So we only want to function in the energy of love and above, right? And so then clearing that out, and if you feel that there's something around that might be trying to hook in, create an energetic bubble, and remember, you are sovereign, okay? You are sovereign. Therefore, you are in control.